Hey everybody, I'm Spegtacular, the Silver Stack. I'm here with Coin Guy at his shop in Spring Hill, Florida for video 101. So let's do some coin collecting 101 in this video and some other things like we always do. Guy, how's it going?
Doing good. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. It's like 87 degrees out in Florida, you know, in November here. It's a little warmer than usual.
Yeah.
We ain't going sleigh riding for Thanksgiving, I think.
We can go sand riding here in Florida.
Yeah,
That's what we
sand
do.
riding is about right. It's been an eventful week, as most people know. And because of what's happened, you see the markets going crazy. Bitcoin exploding up to like 85,000. Silver and gold taking a shellacking, but I anticipated that only because this is euphoria. I mean, my son called me from St. Augustine. He sold more high-end purses and handbags in 3 days than he does in a normal month.
Yeah.
Because people are happy.
Yeah.
And they feel that there's hope for us yet. The world ain't coming to an end. As I talk to you now, you know, gold is down another $70 today. Had it gone another way, we'd be looking at gold at 3,600, I think, right now.
Sure.
Because there was fear and where are we going?
And we're talking about, Guy, the presidential election. You're
Exactly.
saying that, you know, depending on who was in there, it really has an impact.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, this kind of swing, I'd have made tens of thousands more had one party won over the other. But it's worth it to me to preserve my country.
Yes.
No question about it. And that's how it is. And to all of those celebrities who spend a couple of $1 million a year on hotel rooms and clothes and tell us how to live and what the middle class needs. You talk about leaving the country. Well, don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out. Bye.
Right.
Bye.
I think everybody kind of believes that.
You ain't kidding. You know, I was watching the one girl who was a fundraiser, one of the people who brought in contributions for Kamala. She was talking and said, you know, I was assured that this was going to happen and that was going to happen. And I was misled, she said. And she goes, the election was like, if you know Game of Thrones, this was like the Red Wedding. It was a slaughter.
Yeah, the massacre, huh?
And it would have been more if it wasn't for Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, New Jersey lost by only 5%. You look at California, New Jersey, and New York, those people know Trump the most. Those are the ones that always hold out. Trump derangement is truly an illness. Truly is an illness.
Also, Guy, I don't know if you noticed this, but I think it was 18 of the 19 states that she won had no voter ID requirements. That's a little weird, man.
You know, I was hearing some statistics about how many people voted for Barack Obama, how many voted for Biden, for Harris this time, the two elections for Barack Obama, and how many voted for Biden when he won.
We're missing millions of votes.
10 million.
Yeah. Oops.
Where did 10 million votes suddenly come from last election?
It came from out there in the air, Guy.
Yeah, well, makes you wonder how many even came in this time. But I'm happy with the way it went.
Yeah.
And I think America's going to be happy for it.
Well, you know, the Dow went up like, what, 1,500 points or whatever?
Oh, crazy.
The next
and Bitcoin
day.
exploded.
Bitcoin exploded. Apparently, you know, Trump had talked about Bitcoin at some kind of press conference prior to, you know, getting elected. And supposedly they're going to maybe add some to the reserves, the United States reserves. So we'll see.
The first thing we need to do is pick up some oil for the, you know, strategic reserves.
We need oil
because
reserves, for sure.
Well, they pumped out a lot of it to artificially drop the price of oil. And everything is related to coins. Everything is related to gold and silver. I think silver and gold can go down for a little while. But, you know, just like they say on Wall Street, you buy on the dip.
Yeah.
And I'm still buying and selling. This might be a buying opportunity. Do I still see gold in the high 2000s? Let's say by March next year, yeah, 28, 29. It'll come back, and in the long run, you need to have it. It's always going to be, it's always that strategic protection you have.
It is one of those things, Guy, where it's like you don't put all your eggs into the silver and gold basket. You still diversify.
I mean, I lost a lot of money in the stock market this year, but I made it up in the price of gold.
Yeah.
I mean, gold started the year at 2030, and it's at about 26.30 right now. It could have been 36.30, but I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. I did well,
See how it goes.
and a lot of people did well.
We'll see how it goes. That's you know, kind of been the American way for the last few years. We'll see how it goes. What do you got here, man? Some 90%? Oh, you got some nickels too?
What I have here is full date buffaloes. These are V nickels. These are partial date buffaloes. I have people buy them up all the time.
The partial dates, can I see these?
Go ahead.
Is it because they try to get the date out of them?
No, it's because they were worn. The buffalo nickels went through the depression.
No, I mean like people trying to buy them from you. Are they trying to
They
find
buy
that
'em.
date?
They still use them in books. They fill in books.
Oh.
There's probably, you know, 16s and 17s with D's and S's in there. They're still worth a couple of bucks a piece, but I have people who buy those right up.
Okay.
And they do the same thing. They fill in books. Your barber coinage.
People
picked
still
up
like
a
the
bunch.
barbers?
Yeah, this is a nice one. How did that get in there?
You might have to change your mind on that one, huh?
Well, this is a VG. 1903.
You're just going to keep it in there? You sure?
I'll leave it there, but
You're
it's
gonna-
very good. The barbers in there are 16 apiece. Yeah, just to give you an idea.
We'll mix it in there somewhere so somebody just can't find it immediately. There we go.
1903. 1903. BG, $23.
For that one coin.
That one coin, gray sheets at 23.
Shoo!
17 is a good price. Now I'm asking 16.
And it's hidden in there somewhere now.
And, you know, it's just all in there. But I mentioned this last time.
Okay.
And
did
a
you
couple
mention?
of these sharp-eyed
Oh, boy.
people carried on.
Oh, man. The comments went crazy over this guy. You messed up the count, huh?
I grabbed the roll, I thought it was full. It wasn't on purpose. So you can go back under the bridge.
That's for the trolls.
This
Ay,
is
ay, ay.
20. You can count them.
We're going to do it right this time?
Yeah,
Hold
we
on.
can do it right.
People are going to count them again, so let's...
This is 20.
Uh-huh. What are we talking about? 20 what? In case
20 barber halves.
Okay. Barber half dollars. These are 90% silver, right?
Yes.
Okay.
These are unks.
90% silver still?
Yes.
Kennedys. Okay.
Kennedys.
Yes. Still the same silver content, you know,
Still
from
a
the mint.
substantial difference.
Oh, yeah.
And these are proofs.
Oh, boy. I hope there's 20 in each stack. Is
Virtually no difference between proofs and I don't think there is any difference.
there... not really. Maybe
No.
a slight on the right side, but that could
Well,
be
they
just a
should
trick of
weigh
the
the
camera.
same.
Yeah.
My personal holdings is in proofs and unks.
So you're saying that this time, officially on record, there's 20 in each stack.
And
And
when
it-
these are barber dimes or high quantities of mercury dimes, and I still think that's coming next year, you're going to see silver in the 40s. They're going to start weighing the rolls. And that's what I'm just telling you. Or if you're putting away stuff for grandchildren, buy the proof stuff. You know, buy the rolls of proof quarters or proof halves.
Yeah.
And I have
Those are-
plenty of them.
Those are stinking beautiful, aren't they?
They are.
Holy
And
smokes,
most of them
guy.
sell at $15 to $18 a piece. Roll of proof halves is $300.
Phew. That is some deep cameo right there to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful guy.
Because you're paying for collector stuff. If you're buying proof quarters, it's $270 a roll. Halves just have a higher premium. $24.50 for uncirculated, and then we'll see. I don't know where silver's going to be, but $24.50 for uncirculated. And here's a $50 bag.
And we talk about prices,
Circulated
but that's
halves.
subject to change because it's definitely changing right now.
Yep.
It is what it is. And I'll put your info, like I usually do, in the
And as I
description
said
there,
before,
guy.
it's all a matter of how far you're looking.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you're putting this stuff away for the 2-year-old, you know, a brand new grandchild, and you're looking for the future, well, 18 years from now, who knows? Who knows where it's going to be?
Yeah.
I mean, this is stuff you put away and you don't get too concerned about it, but you know you're going to be safe with it.
Like one of my favorite infomercials of all time. You set it and you forget it. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, right? Unless, I guess you really
And if
need
you
it,
want
then.
quantities of barbers, I have it. Christmas is coming, people. You know, it's Christmas time coming, and you're just trying to get ahead of the curve. And this looks great in the stockings.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of these again that I haven't had in a while.
Now these are the 90% modern commems, right?
Yeah, these are modern commems. These are 10 for $290.
And these are similar
That's
to
at a
like
cash price.
the silver,
So
in like a Morgan or a Peace
Yeah,
dollar?
they have the same. They have the same content
Okay.
as these, but you have a combination of proof here, and I mean this is Boy Scouts. I know this one has a premium. This is probably a $38 coin.
Really?
Yeah, the Boy Scout proof. Yeah,
Okay.
but I get so many of them. Here's a baseball one. You don't get to pick and choose. You call me, I give you 10 of them, and if you're paying with a credit card, I'll pay the shipping, but the credit card gets to be a little too much. You know, then I'm selling them for less than melt.
I like this stuff a lot. I think it's really underrated because they're
I've
modern.
had hundreds to go. Usually after a showing like this, I have enough for maybe 4 orders here. That's all I really have.
Yeah. I know that you showed me some cool ones in the past, and I
there's
bought
probably
them.
about 40 here, maybe a little more. But they always move, and first come, first served.
First
And,
come, first served.
The other thing I want to say is I do the Great American Teach-In Wednesday next week. This is probably going to come out the Friday afterwards.
Yeah.
And I'm giving you a heads up that if you want to see me, I will be at the West Hernando Coin Club show. That's going to be at Joan of Arc Church right on Spring Hill Drive on that Saturday, the 23rd, my sister's birthday.
November 23rd.
November 23rd.
Okay.
At Joan of Arc Church. I'll be there at 9 o'clock. I'll probably be there at about 1. But I'll be there if you want to see me. Or if you just want to go to a nice coin show, there we are. But this is just more the generic stuff. These are your better date walkers, higher grades or pre-1933. I mean, you know, 19. What's that doing in there? 19's a better date. There's probably gray sheets for $25 and a good.
So you're pre-65.
Pre-33. These are pre-1933.
Oh, is that what you're doing here?
Or they're higher grades, like that, like an
Oh.
XFAU.
Oh, I see.
And these are $15 each.
Nice guy.
All kinds of ways to buy coins, just things to do. Now, I came across a couple of articles that I thought were interesting.
Okay. Always finding articles from. What is Coin World?
This is out of Coin World.
Okay.
No, this is out of Numismatic News,
Ah,
Numismatic Chronicles.
gotcha.
And now I have a couple of coins like this. The store wasn't open today because I had some medical with the wife. But this kind of staining here is just that. There was a fire in San Francisco after the earthquake in 1906. And there were tens of thousands of coins, 1,000 piece bags stored in the basement. And between the fire and all the water and the rust from all the beams, they sat there for months. I have a couple of coins, and they're S coins, certified with this kind of staining, just so you know that's where it came from. The rust out of the iron, out of the fire. So maybe it gives them some character.
It definitely does. I mean, it's some history, doesn't it?
Yes.
That's part of coin collecting is the history where these coins have been. And these coins were in a
But
serious...
as soon as I saw those, I said, I got those coins.
Yeah.
I got 2 of them. 2 like that.
That's interesting.
But a lot of the storage of the S-Mint coins, it's not all bad, but, well, it gives it a history to it.
Just,
You
it's
know.
definitely different staining versus natural toning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's history of the coin. That's cool.
And comes from the rust because the iron that came down and then rusted and seeped into the bags. And those bags probably sat for the next 60 years,
Yeah.
some of them before they were opened.
Yeah.
And like that.
See, something like that, like, I don't know if maybe they do it, but like NGC or whatever, PCGS should slab the coin with that information on there from that fire that happened at, wherever. That's
From
cool stuff.
1892 to 1954. 70 million immigrants came to Ellis Island. That's where my grandparents came to. I read a good book. It was printed in 1970. It was called Gotham. It was the history of New York City from like 1650 to 1970 or something like that. and talked about that. People came here for a better life. They were sponsored. You know, you had to have somewhere to go, just not wander.
Yeah.
And through Ellis Island, that's where my grandparents came in, the early 1900s. And I've been to Ellis Island. I walked around there, and it's a museum now. But, you know, that's the story of America. And what a lot of people don't know, for instance, because my heritage is Italian, 42% of all the Italians that came through between like 1892 up until around World War I, 42% of them went back.
Really?
They didn't stay, they went back. They came here to earn money to better their lives in Italy and Sicily.
Huh.
That's as says in the book.
Yeah, I mean,
And I found other things in it to be true.
you love your home, I guess.
You know, it's not just about, you know, its heritage, but here it was a strategic move to get the money and go back. Others stayed. My ancestors stayed. I mean, I'm only the third generation in this country.
That's pretty cool.
My parents, my mother, and my grandparents all spoke Italian and Sicilian. And a whole bunch of other words I can't say.
Is that an 87 guy?
Which one?
It is, in 1987.
Yeah. That's a pretty one.
What's
huh?
that doing in there?
Well, my son is pulling these separate because he says we can get more parole for those. I got to look into that, but this year is winding down for us. I think I'm only open about 6 more weeks this year. My last day in the store is going to be Saturday, the 22nd of December. Then we do inventory, and we've had the year we've had.
And then you retire.
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
no, not now. Now that somebody else won, I'm going to, I'll keep playing the game because I love the game.
Gotcha.
But the other person, I'm not going to be hunted in my own country because I'm making too much money or other reasons.
Yeah.
Let me show you something.
Okay, all right. Let's see. What do we got?
Well, we're working our way to there. Silver dollars. I got a whole bunch more. They've been coming in.
Oh, like Morgan and Peace dollars?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy, guy.
We got, we don't have any 100-piece bags. I could probably put 100-piece bag together and mixed, but that's a nice color on that.
Isn't that wonderful right there on top?
Yeah.
I could see that through the plastic.
What a
Let me
coincidence.
open that.
Which one is that?
Here's the mystery, right? Let's
21 unk.
Let's not even tell people what's underneath those, you know?
Well, it'll all be
Ooh.
21s.
I know that, but I'm saying what other colors
And
are
there
there?
might be some D's and S's. I don't get that crazy to pull them. These is 21 unks, 21, 804 AUs, AU, 1924. So these are peace dollars an unk. That's Morgan.
Guy, the colors on
Morgan
these right
extra
here.
fine. Unk.
Somebody's gonna literally be calling and being, hey, that roll that he opened up and has like that bluish toning to it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need that one.
That one is pretty. Wow.
Isn't that? Look at that. It
That's
has
steel blue.
Right.
Steel blue.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, what's underneath that? Like,
You
if
know,
that's the top one.
When you go to Michael's or some of those places and you try to get the paint, you got to ask for steel blue.
Steel blue.
And then you paint. That's how you get that.
Oh.
These are AUs, unks, and these 3 rolls are unks. I've shown these before.
I just like popping them open, guy. You see that? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Stunner, huh? Shoo.
It's probably a 4.
How did it stay
pretty.
so long in that condition?
Here's an 85. CC?
Is it a CC? Did you stick it in there on accident?
No. No.
Not this time.
Got a little
Yeah,
toe.
it's got some color to it. Beautiful. Beautiful guy.
I had a guy complain to me about, I bought a bunch of stuff from somebody named Coin Guy, but I said, there's a lot of people try to steal my name. When he told me, I said, that's not me. He goes, I got a roll of unks, and he said there were 3 unks, the rest were AUs and a couple extra fine. Mine are unks.
Yeah.
My AUs are AUs. My AUs would probably sell as unks in flea markets and places like that. This is what I got. I wore down again to like 8 rolls. Now it built back up again.
You are the coin guy because your name actually is
Guy.
You're the real deal.
Yep, my grandfather was Gaetano. Gaetano Bentry.
Oh, look at
A
that.
butcher in the Lower East Side. Came here, had a job, worked. And I was a butcher for a while at the hospital. I did butchering. Did a lot of butchering. I use bandsaws. I got the missing end of my finger to prove it.
Holy smokes, guy.
Sometimes the pork slipped.
That was grotesque.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
it was a lot worse when I first cut it off. But it happens. You know,
does
you
happen.
cut, God knows, 50,000 pork chops. You're cutting different steaks. You're cutting frozen livers. You're cutting chickens. I can't tell you how many 100 hours I've stood in front of a bandsaw.
Yeah. Part of the game, I guess.
That's how the
Losing a
food
digit
gets,
once
how
in a
it
while.
gets done. You know, it was a big kitchen. We fed 2,700 people a day. Yeah.
You got to work to make it today, don't you, Guy?
Yep.
You
Now
gotta
let's
work.
bring up something else.
Okay.
Let's talk about this. This story is one. Justice for Peanut and Fred.
It's a really sad story.
It's almost atypical of how you lose sight of what's really important. You have windmills out there with hundreds of birds dead underneath them. Big spaces in the Midwest with all these windmills. And I've talked to people in Kansas who tell me they live 5 miles from the windmills. And at night, you can hear the hum. And you wonder where all these whales are washing up on the beaches. Okay? Here you had a squirrel and a baby raccoon. Not hurting anybody. But the animal control show up at a 300-acre farm. I think the definition of farm is to have animals. But okay, they were wild animals. But you sent up to 10 agents who didn't wear gloves. You scared the animals, bit one, and you euthanized them. What was the end game here? To kill two critters?
Yep.
I mean, the waste of money, that you worry about. But the windmills, one political group tries to sell their agenda with that. I mean, you know, it's just sad. And this is kind of ridiculous. You send so much manpower for a couple of critters.
And to better the lives of the animal by killing it, like it's heartbreaking.
Well, I don't understand what efficiency you had if you didn't know how to handle wild animals and you didn't wear gloves. But then that almost is a lot of things that I'm looking forward to seeing how we can improve and have people that are qualified in certain positions, whether it's transportation, the border, people with more wherewithal and know-how to get those things done.
Let's just say, Guy, common sense.
Common sense.
This, what happened here, is not common sense. This is ridiculous.
You know, when I was younger, I was the head of the grievance committee at my hospital, which was one of the biggest private hospitals in New York State. I chaired the grievance committee. I was the final judge for almost 15 or 18 years. And the lawyers who put me in charge said, you have common sense and you treat people fairly. And that was it. I judged the first 8 or 10 trials over the course of the first 2 years. After that, it collapsed.
Yeah.
We talked about things out of court, so to speak. And then they knew that I was looking out for the employees first. I just looked for what was fair. That's what you have to look for, what's fair.
Absolutely.
That's what it was about. I mean, most of my rulings went in favor of the employee. Then again, every now and then you had the employee was just too crazy about what they were expecting. I mean, when you wear a uniform in a certain department, you're expected to wear that uniform so that patients can tell the difference between a ward clerk and an RN. Not that you figure you can come to work in a t-shirt and jean shorts. That ain't gonna work. And sometimes when you get fired for that, that's the code at the time.
Yeah.
And that was 30 years ago, 35 years ago. But common sense, everything comes down to what's fair and what's common sense.
We need more of it, Guy. We need more. Speaking of sense, what do you got in here?
We sold a lot out of here. A lot of these
You been making deals?
Making deals. I got some other odds and ends I threw in here. Here's some little stuff that I worked on this today.
All right, we don't like getting totally political, but this was something that I found very interesting. Is I stayed up all night long, Guy, to watch the
slept for
election
3
results. All night until about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I watched about 9 different tabs on my computer. Of each one was a different news organization who refused to report what was happening
And they called themselves news agencies.
Yes, it was ABC Action News reported it completely up to date. And about, I think, 2 o'clock in the morning, you had the actual results of who, won which states. And then Fox News was next. Everything else, Associated Press, CNN, they were refusing to report what was actually going on.
My wife tells me that, and I don't know if this is true, some husband killed his wife and children and killed himself because Trump won, because the end of the world is here. Now, where does he get told that 24/7 on what news channels? They're biased. They're supposed to just report the news.
This is such a
without
big problem.
editorializing everything
Yes.
and sensationalizing. A lot of people were caught flat-footed. I wasn't surprised. I mean, I was,
Did he won? Yeah, what?
I wasn't surprised. Everybody that comes in here, every place you go, people call me from all over the country, all over the world. When the Ukrainians call me, the Venezuelans, all kinds of people. What is happening to America? And you didn't see this coming?
Yeah.
Shame on you people. You don't need to have posters. Just put people out in the street. And I don't mean in front of, in front of a bar in Greenwich Village. Put people in the street where the farmers work and everybody else. The people who really, by the sweat of their brow and the blood, work and do the deals out there.
Yeah.
Those are the people you ask. I'm going to do the Great American Teach-In come Wednesday coming. They told me I'm going to have a mixture of 7th and 8th graders. And I got gifts for them. And I'm looking forward to that. Next Wednesday. I usually have about 120, so I asked them if I'm good. Last time they slipped me 200 of them. And I had to have Tara run over and bring me more gifts. But they said, no, this time you're going to have about 100 to 120. They only have 4 classes for me.
It should be good.
I said, that'll work. That'll
Okay.
work. And I'm looking forward to the little darlings.
When it comes to silver and gold, I think that, maybe we tell people that it's a long game. You keep on hanging in there. There's ups and downs, right? I mean, it is what it is.
Well, it's dropping right now because you have euphoria out there. People are happy.
Yeah.
But that can change on depends what one of the ships does that encircles Taiwan, or what happens next in Israel or in Ukraine.
All those BRICS
I mean,
nations, it depends on everything.
There's a lot of things, but I still am a big advocate for gold and silver.
Supposedly right now China has been kind of halting their buying, which could be affecting the prices of gold. And they do plan to pick it up once prices come down. So they might be waiting and seeing too.
They're waiting to see what happens in the transition and who's being picked to go where. And what I think you still may see a surprise in the White House, because everybody there does things for image and they play a game of numbers. And we know that the person in charge, the 25th Amendment should be enacted. It's a sin to think that this man runs the country. 4 years ago, you laughed at me when I told you he had onset dementia. Director of Dietary onset in dementia facility. Look at him. The rest of the world looks at him. We are so weak now, it's scary. So I can see a point for them. The other point is they want to make points with their constituents. We put in the first woman of color and a woman to be president. She's a 47th, so they can stick a stick in Trump's eye because now he's not 47, he's 48. They probably got T-shirts already made. It's all a game.
That's all.
The man should have left 2 years ago, a year ago, but it's happened now, and let's see what happens. But
on another note, Guy, real quick, by the time this video comes out, this is already going to be released, but the United States Mint putting out that flowing hair gold
I've
coin.
gotten phone calls for that, a number of them.
So you think it's going to be hot?
I think it's already hot. I know that the silver coin sells for stupid money.
Yeah. The silver medal did pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it did really good. I'm not a person who buys directly from the mint. Very rarely. I usually get mine secondary because, to be honest with you, it comes in all the time. God knows I have 1,800 proof sets and mint sets in the back room. I mean, it's forever coming in, and it's just that.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to try to. I'm going to play it by ear because gold's kind of coming down in price. Is the United States
They're
Mint
not going to drop their price.
We'll see what they do. If they're $1,500 over, there's no way I'm doing that.
But how much are they over now?
They don't tell you until like the day of, Guy. It's like a day of thing. So we'll see. We'll see. It's generally it's about $1,000 though over.
That's how do you justify $1,000 over?
Well, people are selling it
When
for
you control, well, that's because nobody got any yet. How many did? What's their mintage going to be?
17,500, I believe. Don't quote
See,
me
at
on
least
that.
that's a smart number. It's like what happened to the 100th anniversary Mercury dimes. You made 125,000 of them. They basically sell for just a few dollars over gold right now. You made too many of them.
Yeah.
They're just a 1/10 gold coin. A little different. In the 70, you can get a little more money, but you made too many. You got to keep the mintage below 50,000. 17, but then again, if you want $5,000 for the coin, I'll wait for one to come in over the counter.
People in the secondary market are selling it for over $5,000 now because actually some places get these early releases now, some companies, before, you and I get them. And they're already selling, man. They're, we'll see how it goes. We'll see.
It's funny how that happens, and everything is fair and good, and
they started doing this advanced release thing. I don't like it. I think most people don't agree with it, but what are we going to do? We the people don't have a voice over there at the United States Men, I guess.
well, Halloween was fun. Thanksgiving's coming, and this is the greatest country in the world.
Before we end, how you doing your turkey this year?
Tara cooks it. I pick up the turkey. I bring it over. I don't fry a turkey. We make a roast turkey. My son is coming in with his gang, and we're going to have Thanksgiving at Tara's house. And traditionally, maybe out of the last, good God, I'll bet you out of the last 45 Christmases, I've done 42 of them.
Shoo.
I usually do Christmas, and I'll do Christmas dinner. Mine runs all over the place. Sometimes I make chicken masala. Sometimes I used to make prime rib. I've made beef tenderloin, filet mignons. It depends my whim at the time. Some things have gotten totally insane, but I've had a good year, so I can afford filet mignons. But I'm not a big beef eater. I like my seafood, so I always have shrimp cocktail. We have all of that. So we'll have, I don't know, I like to get at least 20 people over. I think, when you used to, like I said, I've done barbecues for 3,000, and I've done meals for many hundreds. 20 people doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
I got a house big enough to set up the tables, and the most I ever had for Christmas once was 26. That's when all of us lived on Long Island. But usually I get 18 to 20 now. I pull in a couple of people, friends of mine who have nowhere to be, and come on over for dinner. And we've always done that.
That's nice.
Last 6, 8 years. Well, that's Christmas. That's what it's about, And I don't ask them who they voted for.
Keep the politics out of it. Nice.
No, you
Very
can't
good.
have that.
All right, guy.
Anyway, but the best is yet to come. God bless America, the greatest country in the world. Thank you. Keep watching another 100.
Amen. Thank you, guy. Bye.
Take care.
Well, hello, everybody. I seek to educate and entertain through my journey of collecting coins and stacking precious metals. I encourage you to subscribe, and please stay with me on this journey. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular. When I was a kid, we did this every day in school, and I believe we need to bring this back a little bit, and I'm going to start right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.